46. We kindled the fire in the Most High's anger because we wanted to serve Christianity. We wanted to serve Islam. We wanted to follow these religious philosophies that have only been our demise, black man. The religions of our enemies and these nations round about us has only been for our end, man. Has only been for our destruction. Read that. 1 Kings 8, verse 35, 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not. Blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans have sinned against their power, man. They have forsaken their Lord, and they sinned. We sinned, man. Go ahead. And thou be angry with them and deliver them to the enemy. We was delivered unto our enemies. Blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans, the true Israelites, were delivered unto the lands of their enemies. Go ahead. So that they carried them away captive unto the land of their enemy. You understand that? You hear that? Blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans were carried to the land that they knew not. Carried to the lands of their enemies. Our foreparents suffered great atrocities and were scattered upon the earth because we were to love our oppressors, man. You understand? And the Lord scattered us to the four winds of the earth. Go ahead. Yet, if they bethink themselves, yet, in this condition where we are in this state and suffering that blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans have been in for hundreds of years, the Bible says, yet, if they shall do what? Bethink themselves. What? Bethink themselves. What? Bethink themselves. If blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans bethink themselves, man, remember who they are. Where would this happen? Where was it prophesied to happen that blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans will bethink themselves, man? Go ahead. In the land. In what? In the land. Whether they were carried captives. In the land where they were carried captive. That is where the true Israelites will remember themselves, man. And since 1969, we have been fulfilling this prophecy, man. Israelites, blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans taking back our heritage, man. We have fulfilled this and we will ever continue. Because why? Our power is a just power, man. And when we remember ourselves, He will avenge us, man. Read on. And repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them which carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. What is Christianity? Wickedness. What is Islam? Wickedness. What is Rastafarianism? Wickedness. What is Buddhism? Wickedness. All these religions in the Bible for blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans is what? Wickedness. You understand? There's a reason why we have endured great suffering on the earth. Blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans, hear this, man. You have committed wickedness, man. In the land of your enemies, it is probably saying you will bethink yourselves and remember who you are. But you have to also acknowledge that you have committed wickedness, man. You have to acknowledge that imam in the mosque and that pastor in the church has only made you commit wickedness. We must remember ourselves, man, and turn back to our power, man. Yahweh, our King, Yahweh, or Christ as you know him, man. We need to bethink ourselves and take back our heritage. Take back which was stolen from us. They stole everything else. They stole our sons and hoarded out our daughters and made us weak in the earth. Well, now we have to take back our integrity. Now we have to take back our masculinity. Now our sisters have to take back their femininity. You understand? Because we have been robbed and spoiled with vain deceit, vain philosophies, which have only been a virus in the neighborhood of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Any more on that? And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies. In the land of what? Their enemies. In the land of our enemies, man. When we was taken from Scotland to the Caribbean, we was taken to the land of our enemies. We was taken from Ireland to the Caribbean, taken from the western coast of Africa, and scattered from all winds of the earth. We were scattered to the lands of our enemies, man. Every nation round about, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, has oppressed us, man. Has benefited from our suffering. And black man, you need to wake up, man. You need to come back to your heritage in the I.S.U.P.K under command of General YAHANNA, man. You understand? Give me John 11 and verse 49, Brother Kashar. Because this is prophesied throughout the Bible. Not just the Old Testament, but throughout the Bible. Because you know why? You have never heard before in your church. I'll tell you why you haven't heard in your church. You heard in your church because your pastor is nothing but a coon, man. It's nothing but a sellout, a weakling with no backbone, who will do anything to save himself and forsake his brothers, man. Forsake his sisters, man. I want to join you with another nation of people, the same people who have hated you for centuries, man. The same people who benefit from your suffering to this day. Read that. 49. John 11, verse 49. And one of them, named Cephas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that which is expedient for us, not that one man should die for the people. You understand, this is a man, this is a group of men, like the Christian leaders and the Muslim leaders today. These are men who forsook the law, man. These are men who led their people astray. But this man is even acknowledging that it is expedient that one man, which is Yahushua or Christ, would die for the Jews in Israel. You understand? Who remembered their heritage. Go ahead. Lord, consider that which is expedient for us, that one man should die for his people, and that the whole nation. Lord, consider that it is expedient for us, that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation should perish not. Well, we understand that it will be expedient for the Lord, for our King. He understood that it is expedient for our King to die for our nation, for the Jews who knew who they were, for the Jews who kept their heritage in the time. You understand? Go ahead. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation. That's what he was talking about, man. He prophesied that Christ, Yahushua, would die for that nation. The Jews, man. The Jews, the Israelites, who were in Jerusalem at the time. But go ahead. And not for that nation only. But who else? But that also he should gather together in one the children of God that was scattered abroad. The children of God were scattered abroad, man. Those who kept heathen customs, man. Those who would be today in the Christian church. Those Israelites who would be today in the Muslim mosque. Right. These people he died for also, man. Right. Those blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our King died for also, man. Right. And know that that is in the New Testament. Christ, even this man knew that even he knew that it was expedient that he would die for not only the Jews in Jerusalem, but the Israelites scattered abroad, man. Just like we read earlier, the Israelites have been scattered to the four winds of the earth under their enemies for centuries, man. And it is understood today in this Bible, in the I.S.U.P.K, that these Israelites will turn back from these false gods, man. They will turn from these wicked and unclean religions, and they would come back to their king, man. That same king who died for them, who were scattered abroad, man. You understand? For far too long, we haven't listened to the lies of our pastors, man. Give me your second Ezra. Yeah, Book of Revelation. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, right? Because understanding this, the children of Israel were scattered abroad, man. We did lose our heritage, but know this, at a time when we will return, man. We have returned, and many of us are coming back, man. And soon enough, our King will return, man, and bring forth this truth, man. He will establish and he will make it known that this truth and this gospel is the truth, man. All will know in that day when they see a black man crack the sky and he has millions of the angels, or UFOs as you call them, and they crowd the sky, and you think, what is going on? Is this a movie? Nah, man, that's our King Yahweh coming back to bring forth judgment on the earth. This Bible is no fairy tale, and you're not going to hear those lies you heard in the church up here. You understand? Where was that? Let me see. Yeah, that's like 10 and 21, Brother Kishar. You understand? Let us know this, man. The true biblical Israelites will have justice, but we must turn from the wickedness that we learned in this place, man. We learned all these religions from our enemies, and we have only suffered for following these religions. Read that. 2nd Ezra 10, verse 21. For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste. You thou seest. This is back in the day, man. You understand? Our sanctuaries were laid waste. You understand? Why? Because of our enemies. Our sanctuaries were laid waste. Our altars broken down. Our altars were broken down because when we had our nation, we had our sanctuaries in our temples. We had the altars of the Lord, and they were broken down. Go ahead. Our temples destroyed. Go ahead. Our upholstery is laid on the ground. Go ahead. Our song is put to silence. Our true song is put to silence in this place, man. All you hear now is blacks and Hispanics talking about killing each other, man, and destroying themselves. That is not the song of SHALAM, man. That is not the song of Israel. But our song has been put to silence. You know why? Because our enemies came about and destroyed all that we have. Our enemies destroyed our sanctuary, man, and captured our people. Go ahead. Our rejoicing is at an end. Our rejoicing is at an end because why? We know nothing but service. To be servants under nations of people who hate us. But the light of our candlestick is put out. The light of our candlesticks, the menorah, the 7 candlesticks, you understand? That is a part of our culture and our heritage, and it was put out. You know why? The Romans came in, the Greeks came in, and our candlesticks, our light was put out, man. Our great ornaments that we had and that we kept were taken from us, man. Go ahead. The ark of our covenant is spoiled. The ark of our covenant, a great instrument that we use when we march to battle, man, to serve in the name of the Most High. It was all taken from us. All these things that we kept and held as our own were all taken from us. Go ahead. Our holy things are defiled. All our holy things were defiled when we was conquered by the Romans and the Greeks and all manners of nations that are around about us, man. Go ahead. The name that is called upon us is almost profane. Now, when you hear about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all you hear is gangs, violence, and dishonor, man. Because why? Our name has been destroyed in this earth. Because we were conquered and brought down, and we were beset on all sides by our enemies. Go ahead. Our children are put to shame. Our sons are put to shame. Why? Because they don't know what it is to be brave, man. They are turned to be cowards, man. Because only the violence that has been put upon them, they have only known oppression and violence. And there's so much so that even now they fear their own brothers, man. They have become weak, man. Our priests are bad. priests were physically burnt alive, man. When in 70 AD, when they burnt our priests, and at the time of the Greek Empire, they burnt our priests alive, man. Our Levites are gone into captivity. Our virgins are defiled. Our virgins are defiled. Our young women, blacks, Hispanic and Native American women today are only known for twerking, man. They have defiled our virgins, man. They have defiled the image of our women. They have defiled their minds, man. They have chosen to believe that it is right to just twerk on Instagram, man. They have defiled our virgins, man. Our wives ravished, our righteous men carried away. Our wives are ravished, man. From 70 AD all the way to 1492, all the way to 1619, and all the way to 2023, man. Our wives are ravished by these nations, man, because they have captured and conquered us, and now they seek to serve another nation of people, man. They think themselves nothing but twerking online. They have destroyed our people, man. Our little ones destroyed our sons and our daughters, man, giving them the vain philosophies of this world, and both physically destroyed. They took our babies in slavery and smashed them against stones. You may have forgotten, your pastor may have forgotten, but the Most High Power and the men in the I.S.U.P.K have not forgotten, man. We have not forgotten our sons and our daughters, which we have slaughtered and slain in the streets, and we slain when they couldn't defend themselves. We have not forgotten, and you better believe the Most High and our King Yahushua have not forgotten, man. Our young men are brought in bondage, and our strong men are become weak. All that we have, our masculinity has been stripped of us, man. In society today, all we want to do is entertain and serve another nation of people, man. But understand there was a day when we came from great, solid and righteous stock, man. We come from warriors, but we have been made weak, man. Our fathers are in jail, in cuffs, locked up in chains. You understand? And our great men, our strong men, have been bound up and made to be weak, man. Weak to hate their brothers, weak to hate their sisters, and weak to love their oppressors, man. That's what has happened to the true biblical Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And which is the greatest of all. This, so all the slaughter, all the things that were destroyed, the temple, our sons, our daughters, our very name, but the greatest of them all, the greatest atrocity of them all, read, the seal of Zion, the what? The seal of Zion have now lost her honor. The seal of Zion, which is the Magan Dawadah, the shield of David, man, is not a star. This is the Magan Dawadah, David's name in Hebrew, a holy shield. When David's men patrolled the earth, they wore this symbol because they represented their king, man. They represented the throne of our king. And understand this, our king today, Yahushua Christ, he sits on the very same throne. And so his men wear this shield upon their neck. But you know what's happened today? That shield, that sign, read that again. And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Zion have now lost her honor. Seal of Zion, this shield has lost its honor. Let us find out why and how it's lost its honor today. Because this was a holy shield. This is a shield of renown and honor. Whenever people saw this shield in the day, they thought these men are righteous. These men are of justice. These men are lawful. But let us find out how this shield, the seal of Zion, has lost her honor. Read that. For she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. because this seal has been delivered into the hands of those that hate the true biblical Israelites, man. That man in Israel today has stolen the seal of Zion, and that is why it has lost its honor, man. Those same people who wear our shield upon their necks and carry it upon their flag, they hate the Lord's people, man. They rob the Lord's sons and daughters. And they are not the real Jews, man. They are thieves and culture bandits, and they hate the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the true biblical Israelites, man. The true Israelites have endured great suffering, man. We have been murdered, raped, robbed. We have had identity theft. We have been enslaved and beaten and killed unjustly, man. And yet to believe they teach our sons and daughters the vain nonsense of this society that we live in today. But those people are a large people, man. And this seal shall regain its honor because it will be in the hands of the rightful owners, man. That's right. The man of the Lord. Any more on that? 20. You understand? The seal of Zion have lost their honor in the hands of these heathens, man. They are thieves, and every proof, every historical text, every history, you understand, proves it. But you know why? This world was not given into the hands of the Most High. This world is ruled by the devil, man. This world is ruled by a deceiver, a nation of people who have deceived the entire earth. A nation of people who know not justice, who know not what is honorable, but they only know what fills their stomachs, man. They only know what's good for them, but nothing for the Lord's people, man. And the Lord of this Bible will ensure that they will answer for their crimes, man. Read that. Chapter 2 Esdras 14, verse 20. Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me. And behold, this is Esdras, he said, behold, he will go as the Lord has commanded him. Go ahead. Who shall punish them? And reprove the people which are present, but they that shall be born afterward, who shall administer them? Understand this, man. We were commanded to come out here and reprove the people. Set the right, you understand? Set the wrong from the right and the right from the wrong, man. And we are here to display and reprove this earth. And that is why we come out here, to reprove the people of this earth and make them understand that this world that they love, this kingdom that they enjoy, so they love it so much, and they enjoy their nice weather with their family, enjoying the wealth of this land. But you never understood and never acknowledged that the wealth of this land and all that you enjoy came about because of the suffering of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. The Lord's chosen people. That's where this all came from. And it will have to answer for that, man. These people will have to understand this truth and will have to understand their judgment, man. Read it. Thus, the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. They that dwell therein in this world are without light. You got the Christian church in every ghetto, man, all over the ghetto. You got the mosque all over the black and Hispanic community, but it has no light. You have every fake Israelite out there in these heretic groups out here, man, but there is no light. Because why? They have not hearkened unto the word of the Lord as it should be. Go. You understand? We need to remember that we are the Lord's people, man. We need to come back to our heritage, man, and forsake all that we learned in this place, all that we learned in this land, we need to remember us. For thy law is burnt. Therefore, no man knoweth the things that are done of thee. Understand this in history and in time. Our law was physically burnt, man. They attempted and tried to stop the word of the Lord and stop it being ever passed down to future generations. But let's find out what happened. Right? For the works that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost, Salakia. Send the Holy Spirit into me, and I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning. Understand this, man. The Lord always made sure that our records would survive, and that is why we have it today. That is why we have the King James 6:11, because the Lord ensured that men would hold these scrolls and ensure that it passed down to future generations, and that is why we have it today. Our heritage is not too far gone. It is not lost, but all we must do, black man, is take it back. Take back our heritage, man. Our records are strong and solid, and they are here, and that is what we have been given, so that we can stand for the Most High, man. We can turn back and bethink ourselves in these.
Nobody tell you cry. You know why? Because I never saw you before, but you are a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to Rhythm Man blues for this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good record. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two